My thought was that I would present a few slides to sort of just put the internet in context and really sort of give our perspective. 2015 is an estimation that 5 billion people will be online. What is clear is that every single mobile device a few years from now is going to be an LTE device. Setting up businesses, running applications, bandwidth cost, etc. has come down dramatically in the last 10 years, making it much easier for entrepreneurs to start new companies. What has happened in the last few years is that people have just become much more acceptable to sharing information about themselves. And that is really the internet as a disruptive force. Many companies are actually growing faster than we've ever seen before. Good examples are Groupon and Zynga, and obviously both companies have actually used Facebook as a platform to achieve that growth. Groupon was the fastest company to ever get to $1 billion of revenues and $2 billion of revenues. And I think without using Facebook as a way of targeting customers and as a platform, they wouldn't have achieved that. What the internet enables you to do is reach an enormous amount of people in a highly targeted way, and that was clearly not possible before.
If you look at the world today, we have a bit more than 900 million people who have a Facebook profile and go there at least once a month. But what is more interesting is that out of those 900 million people, 60% return daily. This is game-changing in the sense that you will manage to have a scale, to have a reach that you've never had before. We already have more than 500 million people every month who use Facebook with their mobile. So the question, of course, is when you have that many people, the first thing to do is use Facebook as a medium. What we thought is that we could do a lot better. Not only if people are on Facebook, but what is interesting is that they actually share a lot of things. And that is what is the most interesting part for a business, because you can actually start to become part of the daily activity of people. What you see here is what we call the newsfeed. One homepage dedicated to each and every single user. Do what we call sponsored stories. Advertising to people you have a certain connection to. It increased by 50% the ad recall. Clicks do not equal sales. You shall not concentrate your focus and attention on CTR. So what is interesting is how many sales are related to my online activity. The key question is, what is your social insight? Why should those people care about what you have to say? And why would they share it to people? Therefore, the fourth and last step is what we call integrate. Using those social technologies not only to answer your communication or marketing needs, but to actually provide a better service to people.
Let's get to business to talk about apps. We do totally agree that Facebook Pages is, the place to start. Now, apps is what you see here. Those 4 tiles that you see at the top right corner of the page. And we tend to believe that, a page without apps or a page with the standard set of apps is very, very boring. It doesn't take advantage of the limited amount of space that you have here to actually provide additional features. How do you pick those apps? And it's actually not easy. Depending on what you want to do, this will drive the apps that you pick. One thing that's extremely important is to not try to do it yourself. And if you start building your own apps, it can be a real nightmare. Define what your strategy is and then pick the apps that are relevant rather than try to build and maintain apps that will just not work over the longer run. In the rare case where you're going to want to build, use custom developers that are referenced by Facebook. There are a list of what we call preferred developer consultants. What's the future holding for Facebook apps? The next big thing that just came recently is timeline actions. What you can do today is when you're listening to a song on Spotify is actually automatically post in your newsfeed, Stefan listened to whatever it is on Spotify. Not only does it create more social interaction, but it's much more specific. Having a Facebook page with no apps is pretty much like this guy here. You can do it, anyone can do it, but it's gonna be tough. And so apps sort of take you to the next level, right?
To speak about mobile on Facebook. Half of the computers in the world are not PCs. As a matter of fact, it's phones and tablets. It's a huge market, and it's already from 30% to 50% of users who interact directly on their mobile. So now regarding the features. The first one is check-in. Check-in is a great way to generate visibility on the social graph of people. And the big issue for brands is to know how exactly they are going to incentive the check-in. Another feature is the App Store that Facebook has launched. Facebook is not only about Facebook.com, and especially regarding mobile. You have to provide your customers a global experience through all the devices. It's a challenge for Facebook to monetize the users on the mobile.
Let's talk about ROI on social media. You do have to understand what the fan wants. What they do want is to have access to exclusive content. The second most important, they want to interact with their friends about your brands. And the third point is they like to run games, to play games on Facebook. Once a fan becomes a fan of your brand, he's very, very more likely to recommend your brand to his friends. Regarding the word of mouth, 90% of the fans kind of believe what they read about a brand in social media marketing.